Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
like Amazon, Facebook, or Google. So, following a successful authentication, the user receives an authentication code from the web ID provider, which they can then trade for temporary AWS security credentials, which will be then allow them to access AWS resources. So, for example, let's say imagine that you're developing a web-based application and you want to make it available to Facebook users. You can actually use your entity federation to handle the authentication of the users on your behalf, and that would be help that will help you out to to do much more or to explore your much more role. So so this is very good service which you can provide, and which we can include in IAM as well. So we can actually use identity federation to handle the authentication of the users um, on on the organization behalf, and then they provide they provide the token, and that token will be exchanged to access the AWS resources, right? And to do these things, we have a very good service that's called Amazon Cognito, which enables web entity federation with the feature that it gives you sign up and sign in to your application. It provides access for your guest users, so it enables you to handle users who don't already have an account, right? So it acts as an identity broker between your application and web ID provider, and that means you don't need to write any special code to integrate your application and web identity provider. It actually synchronizes users' data across multiple devices. So, for example, if I access an application using my mobile phone and I make changes to my user data or my profile data, next time I log into the same application, I'm using a tablet or a PC, I should see the same updates that I have made via my mobile phone. So you should get a seamless experience across all different devices. And finally, Cognito is recommended for all mobile application when which run on AWS services. And Cognito is the recommended approach for web entry federation using social media accounts like Facebook, Google, Okta, or any SAML language you use. So just imagine a mobile shopping application and it's using S3 for product data and DynamoDB for customer data. If you want to enable a customer to log in using Facebook, then to be able to access the product data and their own profile data within the customer database. So first of all, what you will do is they will all need to log into a Facebook, and after a successful login to Facebook, Facebook will give them a web token, and Cognito will take a web token and exchange it for a temporary AWS credentials. And it's these temporary credentials which allow them the access that they need to see the contents of the S3 bucket and also to request and update data in the database. So Cognito brokers between the application, Facebook, Google, to provide these temporary credentials, and then these temporary credentials, which it maps to the identity access management role, and it's that role that allows them access to the required resources. Okay, so this means that
So
there is
here, Vasant, I have a question. So here,
yeah
web identity provider is the Facebook or Google or anything, right?
yeah anything
Okay.
that's a web
And once
provider.
temporary credentials are provided, how long they can use those credentials to access to AWS resources?
It depends. Basically, Cognito will make that for the time the user session is logged in into Facebook. So if you logged out from the Facebook, this the token exchange will be expire, and then you will be automatically logged out from the Cognito service as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this means that there is no need for the application to embed any additional credentials, and you don't need to store credentials locally on the device, on the mobile phone, or anywhere. So benefit of Cognito is that it can also give users a really seamless experience across your devices. Okay, so this is a very cool service which actually is a part of IAM, and we recommend so that if suppose you have something which you wanted to share, you can use this Cognito option to to do the web integrations in your application. Okay, Cognito is the AWS recommended approach for web ID federation, particularly and especially for mobile applications. So that's the end. So that the end user always have a good experience on the application which you have created. Okay, to understand it in a better way, picture speaks 1,000 words. So let me share a picture with you. Okay, so should be. Okay, so we have this set of images, and this is where put like to. Okay, so this picture over here talks about that. Hey, see the complete workflow of Cognito. So the app authenticates and gets token from the user pool. User pool takes the value from different web identity providers. So you have social sign-in, you have OIDC, you have SAML or any custom. So user pool takes the key. Then after this user pool, this is a complete Cognito service. Okay, so this user pool is a part of Cognito, and then we have identity pool. So user pool is specifically deals with the set of users which will come up from different sources. Okay, so the app has first authenticates and get token from user pool with the provider, and once you have that, it's exchange the credentials and it's exchange the token, and then with that particular token it exchange with for the AWS temporary credentials. Okay, that goes to the identity pool. And after having a temporary access, whatever the identity pool role has been attached, the role has a permission to perform set of actions. The role is attached to identity pool, and identity pool will verify or give a temporary access. And after a temporary access, the person app will be able to access the resources. But the resources will be accessible only with the role which has been, you have a policy on the role. The role will specify the identity pool. These are the set of, resources, and these are the set of actions which are allowed. So these are the set of actions which can be taken on these particular resources. Okay, so that's how the identity pool or identity pool sorry that's how your Cognito works. Cognito has a user pool and identity pool. Identity pool is to identify the user and attach a role on it so that it can perform the set of actions that's been allowed to that particular role which has been attached to an identity pool. Okay, so that's about Cognito, user pool, identity pool, and the services. Okay, and how does it looks like uh, in the services? So you have a service over here. Just go and write Cognito. It's very simple to create. You just create on Cognito federated identities.
Hey viewers, our Master in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high-level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Okay, so let's talk about Cognito. As we talked about Cognito already, that it's a web identity federation things which we can which we can use on. So Amazon gives you a Cognito service to offers Cognito. As you can see that it gives you the user pool and entry pool to maintain and manage them. So what we have to do is at the very first time, if you really wanted to use a Cognito, then you have to manage the user pools and identity pools as we have seen into the diagram. And I try to explain you what Cognito can do. So let's see how it works. So when you click on manage user pools, this option over here, click on that, and then we have to create user pools in order to manage all our users. So what we are going to do is we're going to create and show you that how Cognito is better approach. Because if suppose you have an application where you have a you have to authenticate users from Web Identity Federation, or you have to attach or create a users, or you have to maintain the users from the Cognito. Then we maintain that, we create it from the Cognito. So Cognito can help you to create a sign up and sign in page automatically and can manage your users. Apart from that, its main purpose, as I said, is basically for the Web Identity Federation. We use it for that purpose. But let's see how we create user pools and how we use this user pool. So there's a button on the top. You click on that, create user pool. Now write your pool name. Let's say this is Sony um, Live, something like that. And then once you're done with that, you can have an option saying that step through settings default. I will say Sony Live and step through settings. Okay. Keep how do you want your end users to sign in with the username? I want them to sign in with their username. Okay, and then in anything you wanted to keep a standard attributes, do you want to require email address? I just want them to require their email addresses, nothing apart from that. So that looks good. Go to next step. Okay, when you click on next tab, you will see a screen which will talk about the password strength. Okay, so the password strength which should your user should must or needs to have. So there's a password policy. So minimum length, requires special character, and all that. So that's what it's there. So we'll say okay, that's looks good. Go to next step. Do you want to enable a multi-factor authentication? uh, I don't want to enable the multi-factor authentication. How will a user be able to recover their account? Email if available, right? So we have over here, you can see email verification, any role name which will be created. I want that to be created for automatically. I want email. I just want addresses to the verification. Nothing apart from that. If you say no verification, you won't receive an email or you won't be verified. Ideally, I say email, so I'll just keep that email automatically and leave that role name over here. Go to next step. Now on the next step, you see when you click on next step, you'll see that you want to customize your email address. That any email address you wanted to customize, I was like, okay, I don't want to see the customization email. Whatever is looks good. Or a default email template looks good to me. So go to next step. Okay, I don't. Then when you go to next tab, it will ask you for do you want to add any tags? I don't want to add any tags on next step. Do you want to remember users devices? Do you want to always remember them? Always. Okay. Or you can, for now, I would say no. I don't want them to always remember. So no. Next step. Right. Over here, we have to add a client app, which will have an access to this user pool. So we'll have to add an app client. For example, you have created your application. So if you have your application already, you can give the application URL. Hey, this is a URL of my application where user should redirect when they come to a cognito mode, they should be redirected to this URL and so on. So such type of information of integrating the app part we have to do. So as of now, we don't have any app, so we'll create an app over here for the integration purpose. So I'll just click on this. So all thing looks good. You just need an app client. So Sony Live, okay, underscore demo, something like that. Refresh token should expire within 30 days and all that stuff. Let it be. Create app. Okay. So once you created the app will come over here, like where it's asking you for creating the app. So it will come over here. Sony Live demo. Go to next tab. Um, do you want to customize any workflow triggers? I don't want to customize anything, so let it be whatever it looks like. So next step. The next step is say this is your pool name, this is your email attribute. All looks good to me, and then I would say, yeah, create pool.
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
So just taking time to create. Let's wait for some minutes. Okay, your user pool was created successfully. My pool, blah, that's okay. Then on the left hand side, you see that um, you have a federation, web identity federation. You have federation over here. If you click on identity provider, you would see that there are identity providers: Facebook, Google, sign up with SMLN, and so on. You will have a list of them. If you click on federation identity provider on the left hand side. Okay, so once you click that, you will have a view of that you have many tabs on this. Where is the Facebook? You wanted to do a sign in with Apple. You want to sign in with Amazon. You want to sign up with Open Connect. You want to sign up with you have different vendors of provider. So what you do on that, just particular application. Okay, why we use Cognito if we really wanted to. Uh, One of the option that we took with the warranty provider, which is over here, and I'll show you how you connect with. Even there is an SAML option. So if you have SAML sign-on services, you can attach that as well. Like an example, Okta. If you have an Okta, you can also attach Okta directly to the Cognito. Okay. So over here we have energy provider. Now we'll go to app client setting on the left hand side tab, and app client setting, and then we'll also, you don't have to do anything on app client setting, so we'll go to domain name. Okay, so we'll see what domain name is. Domain name would be the location, where you wanted to follow up. Like if your cognito has been reached, then where it should go, right? What should be the domain name? So let's see that part. So we'll always, when we create a cognito, there are two options. One is that we can have our own domain name. Other is that we can create one domain name. It's still loading. It's so long. Yeah, here now I have. So if you have your own domain, you can attach that own domain directly to Cognito, and you don't have to create sign up and sign in pages, because that too, all this headache will be completely taken care by your Cognito. But if you don't have it, you can, for example, now we don't have a domain name. So I will allow Cognito to create one for you. And then when you're creating a domain name, you can write a domain name, let's say Sony Live demo, something like that. And then there's a button on the right hand side, says check availability. When you click that, check availability option over here actually verifies that whether the domain is available, whether the same name is available or not. If the same domain name is available, to adjust the connection. Okay, so on the domain you are in and you have it over here. So it's top sham.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Okay, so now you can see my screen. Over here, we see that we do have sorry, we do have a name of a domain. So we said we clicked on check availability, and when we click on check availability, if that domain name is available, it will give us that domain is available. So we will take that domain, save changes. So once you do that, your has been completely. Okay, so it will take time to save the domain. So once the domain name has been saved, okay, right. So once the domain name has been saved, you will see your domain name has been came as the deactivated name, and then there will be a delete domain. But I don't want to delete domain, okay, and let it be. Now what happens? Okay, let's say if someone, now I will that is my domain name. We'll go to app client setting now. In an app client setting, we'll have to say over here that, okay, in app client setting, I want to enable what? Do you want to enable Cognito user pool? Yes, I want to enable Cognito user pool. So we'll check that part. Okay, and then what happens if, so I'll check that. And what happens if user, what like once the user signed in, where we should redirect the user. So redirect the user https www.forexample.com. Okay, so if all looks good, please redirect people to example.com. And then I want allowed OAuth scope needs to be authorized code grants. No, not authorization code grants, implicit grant. I don't want client credentials, authorized code grants. Client credentials, no, I don't want that. Email, allowed to watch scope is email, or you can select all. That's not an issue. Okay, and then save changes. Okay, click on this again properly. So the changes must be saved. Okay, now our changes has been saved. So what we can do next is, can go to Cognito. Sorry. We'll have to go to that domain name over here, whatever we have. So I'll go to the domain name. So if you see, the domain name is this, https, and then the Sony Live US East one. Okay, so we'll copy that and paste on similar one. I'll write the URL on the chat box. So it's just, we have to change that Sony Live demo. Sony Live demo auth US East one cognito.com /login/response time/token. Then you have to give a client ID over here on the top URL. You have to give a client ID. So go back to your user pool, and you did created a client. So you go to app clients, and there you have an app client ID. Copy that. Okay. Sorry, go back to that tab again. Okay. Then on the tab, where's that? Right, on the client ID, put your client ID, which you just recently copied. Okay, token client ID, redirect URI should be the same where you wanted to go back. And then once all looks good, press enter. Okay, so see what has happened. We came up with the pop-up of sign up and sign in page. So we can sign up. I can sign up anyone over here. So let's say I want to sign up. I can sign up with the name and email address and phone number. Sorry, name, email address, and password. So if I say I wanted to log in myself, so I'll say user1, and email address is user1 @gmail.com, and password is ABC3. And as we have a password policy enabled, so we have to make sure that we have a password policy. And then there's a one special character, one caps. Okay, and 8 characters. So once it's done, we can click on sign up. Okay, now it's going to send a verification code on your email address. You have to write that verification code over here. But I haven't given a proper email address. but that's okay. So if once the user has been verified, you would see even if once you have signed it up, your user is signed up automatically. The user has to sign in a user, you have to verify the code. Okay, and once the code is verified, the user can sign in as well. And once the user sign in, he will be able to go inside one, whenever he's up to, he has done a proper login. Then what we have uh, told while creating the cognitor, we told that whenever the login attempt has happened successfully, then redirect the people to example.com. So if it did happen successfully, all the user will be directed to example.com. Okay, now we don't have a verification code because I didn't give a proper email address. But if we go to user pool and check our users and groups, okay, no users yet. If we just refresh the page, we'll have one user. Refresh it. So you see that you have a user one enabled. Account status is as unconfirmed because that email has been sent to that address, but the person has not clicked on the or did not send the email verification. That's why it's false. Otherwise, it would be true, and this will be confirmed as a status. So you got your users here. Okay. So what happened? You don't have to create a sign up, sign in page, and all thing has been authenticated. Your services has been authenticated. So before you access any of the service, the person has to authenticate himself into the account through Cognito. And once he has been authenticated properly, all the users will be maintained and will be created over here. So you can create user also. Let me create a user from let me create a user named as user2. Send an invitation to this new user. I don't want to send temporary password. I would say abc8123. Phone number, I don't.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.